and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids removed from their home because of abuse and neglect. And we need volunteers.
All right, thank you, Casa.
Like
You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star here at Lone Star Community Radio, irlonestar.com worldwide, and of course, Connors FM 104.5, 106.1. This is Dick with Mornings with Lone Star. If you hear my voice, that means we're live on Facebook, YouTube. Just look up Lone Star Community Radio. We're live, because we have a guest today in the studio. We have Dondre Cyrus. Hopefully I've said that right. Did I say that right?
Yep, you got it.
And he is with the American Federation, American Medieval Combat Federation.
Yeah, American Medieval Combat Federation. No, that's a mouthful.
I know. And you guys are actually coming to Conroe for a live event over there by the Lone Star Park.
Yeah, we're going to be at Lone Star Arena. Yep.
Arena. So, and just to let folks know, I have links to all this, like if you want to buy tickets, if you want to learn about medieval combat, especially about this federation. They are a nonprofit that travels around the country and the world, and they do competitive, I would call it competitive medieval combat.
Yeah,
it's competitive.
It is competitive.
So I think that's really important for people to know. These people are trying to hit each other for points.
Yeah, full contact, unchoreographed. This is not medieval times. This is
I like
guys
it. I love it.
I want to be a knight, and I'm going to kick somebody's butt.
So where's the arena? Is that over there by the fairgrounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
because when I saw that it said Lone Star Park, I was like, did they call the convention center that now?
Yeah, so like they changed the name, I guess, to make it like the Lone Star Convention Center. So the center is different from the arena, even though it's like the next building over.
Yeah, so you're in the arena.
So we're in the arena.
Oh,
yes.
wow, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
It's going to be nice outside and cool.
Yeah, it's going to be nice outside. And we did that on purpose because, it's got that nice soft dirt in there in the arena. It's got all the comfortable seats.
So, I've been in there a couple times. I'm trying to imagine y'all's competition. So since this is a competition, it's not like a show.
No, it is not.
Meaning you show up with your kids and you grab some popcorn and you have different events going on the whole day.
Yeah. So it lasts.
So it's not just one centered thing.
It's not one centered thing. So you'll see probably about. So we got 200 competitors coming in. So, and there are about 15 teams. So that's like the teams, like the 5v5 teams, and then you have another day where it's just the singles fighters, and it's going on all day. There's just singles fights.
Okay, so
we watch people with axes and swords and just fight each other one-on-one and team battles.
Yeah, because that's one thing I was reading about what you guys do, and the team battles are hilarious to me because I don't know how you can judge that because there's too much going on.
So, yeah, it gets kind of complicated. It's what I could say, it's kind of modified last man standing rules, kind of. So it's 5v5 typically when you start out, and basically your team whittles down to like a 5-to-1 ratio.
Well, how do you get out?
So basically, if you fall on the ground, you're dead. Like, that's it. So if I throw my opponent and we're on a team and I throw one of them on the ground, they can't get back up.
Okay, so because that's one thing I want people to, because I bet you so many people who are going to be listening to this go like, exactly what do you mean it's competitive?
Yeah.
And because it's, you guys have different rules depending on what kind of match it is.
Yes.
Because like your singles match, if you throw them on the ground, is it the same thing? Like it's a point?
No, like I see, they can get up and they can.
Yeah, that's what because I saw a couple fights like that.
So it's more points related, but the team battles are.
But it's not like fencing.
No,
where you're like, oh, points.
No. They are really hitting each other.
Well, I know, but like, if you get hit, is that a point?
Yeah, when you get hit clean, it's a point.
Yeah,
it's a point. So it's not just points. Like fencing is like usually these very quick one stab thing. Type
I don't even know how they judge that. How do you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Without technology, knowing that you touch their stomach.
We're trying to figure out how to even get to that point, but to like really get close.
I think that's what would be sorry. It's almost like you don't want to overly complicate it.
Yeah, we don't overly complicate it.
So because it is chaos. You're having two grown adults with armor with like 80 pounds of armor on, swinging steel.
Yeah.
And then it's like if you hear a loud clang, a point.
So there's a lot. So we have marshals, and sometimes we don't have we have people this is going to be a national championship, so we have going to have certified marshals that are literally right now are looking at videos, breaking it down into a science of like slow motion, regular speed, looking at what's clean, what's not, and like preparing.
Well, what's
so that
clean
when
or
they-
not? I
yeah.
mean, I guess. What, give me an example of an unclean move.
So and like let's say
Like grabbing the armor or something?
No. What I mean, say, did they block it? Did they block it and did it like parry just like bounced off their shield
Yeah.
and it hit the body, or did it actually hit them clean?
Because
or
like
did
in
it,
boxing, you can't knee them in the
Right.
gonads.
Yeah.
So it's
no,
like
we can't do that. But like sometimes what they're looking at is like if it hit my shield and it bounced off my shield and it just kind of hit me.
That's not a point.
They won't count that.
Yeah.
But if it hits me clean. they're
Yeah,
gonna
I
count
get
that.
you. Yeah, because you do have shields.
Yeah, we do have shields.
I encourage people to click the link to the website.
Not everyone does though. Not everyone is as smart as me.
But I mean, hey, you got a strategy.
Yeah.
But I encourage everyone to check out the website. Say the website for the folks who are just listening.
So website is AMC
AMC
Federation.
Federation.com. Because you have videos and stuff up
Yeah,
there.
there's videos on there,
Because
yeah.
you can't really explain it to people, mainly because the Renaissance festivals here.
Yeah,
and and when people think of medieval combat, they think of the show.
They think of the show. They think of like medieval times.
And I'm like, no, these two dudes it's a bracket and they're trying to win. They're trying to win.
And there's a point to this one. There's actually a real point to this one. Like the people who are coming to this is our national championships, qualifying championships. So basically, the top competitors on this championship will go on to the world championships and be Team USA. They will have USA tabards. They will be with the USA flag. They will represent our country in the world championships against 20 other countries.
That's
who
awesome.
have other teams.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
And with that, well, let's go through the day because tickets are available right now, and kids are free under the age of what?
12.
12. So if it's 12 or under,
Yeah, 12 or under, free.
free. And
18 under, it's like $6. It's
Yeah.
not that much more.
18, yeah. Because one thing that's interesting about this event, it isn't a show, but it's almost like you're inviting the public to come witness what you would do in y'all's backyard.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome because that means it's going to be raw.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there's going to be some people who are going to be upset. There's going to be a lot of emotions in the
oh, that's what I'm saying because it's competitive. I love this.
competitive, yeah.
Well, because like they used to once a year they host a boxing deal at the convention center, and it's so much fun because it is like entry level boxing.
Yeah.
And then like when they go through the fight, there's a couple. I think the top two usually is like a ranked.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more serious.
So,
but
yeah.
I love seeing the amateurs because this is like the only time they actually get real practice because when you guys are training, totally different from going in the ring and fighting because you're not going 100%.
And on the first day,
And now we get to see you go 100%.
100%. Yeah, and during the team battles, they're gonna it goes into two phases. So the first phase is the pools. So you have the teams will be set up in groups, like maybe like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And you'll see those teams fight it out, and then like the top 2 or 3 teams from each pool, then will then move on to the brackets, and then it'll get more and more intense as you see it. So you'll probably see maybe 30 matches, probably good 30 matches of team battles alone before you even get to like the single stuff.
So I'm gonna make sure I put a link to getting the tickets because they're available right now. And then this event starts, I believe it's the Saturday, the 7th, right?
Saturday 7th, yep.
The 7th, and then it goes to the Sunday.
Goes to Sunday, yeah.
And is it 2 tickets for both days, or is it 1 ticket for?
So you get a choice, yeah. You can if you just want to come one day for the team battles and some of the singles fights on the first day, great. But then there's also a weekend pass you get both days. And
Okay.
It's like $20,
For a weekend pass? That's very affordable.
Yeah, because we want people to. This is kind of like the starter, right? Like you were saying, like this is like people to get that entry level and kind of understand it and see it and to get to meet the knights. You'll get to be able to take pictures. You'll be able to see them. You'll be able to meet them and ask questions and kind of really enjoy that environment because it's a.
Well, if you need a sub, I'm available.
Sure. Yeah. We're all. There might be somebody who might go down. It's always happens.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Team shorts.
Well, I think that's what is amazing to me about this because y'all. I mean, I'm ignorant on this, but you regard this as a sport.
Yeah.
So it is a competitive combat sport.
It is competitive. Yeah.
And it's weird today. I feel like you go on TV and you'll find just the most crazy competitive sports.
Yeah,
like the slap.
The slap thing. I was thinking
That's
about that.
awesome.
I was like, we were all so upset when that thing got on TV. We were like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever.
But it's awesome at the same
awesome
time.
At the same time. But we're like,
I watched that.
but no one knows what our sport is.
Well, I mean, it will because I think what it is too. Because there's actually a really cool sport that I found. It's in Italy, and basically what it is, it's like I want to say it might be 40 on 40, might be, But like the principle of the game is you got to get this ball into the other person's
Oh,
net.
I know what you're talking about.
But
yeah. They're, like,
you can
fighting
fight.
They're fighting in the
And I'm like, well, that's just chaos.
Yeah.
Like you got to imagine these 40 men versus 40 men just hitting each other, and like you don't go out.
Right.
So the whole idea is you get these tough dudes to hold other dudes down.
Yeah.
That way you can move the guy through with the ball. Yeah. And I was like, no one would want to watch this but me because this is awesome. But like we were trying to appeal to an audience.
Yeah, I saw that on Netflix. I thought it was pretty interesting.
It was cool. I think it was like a Vice thing.
And so that's the thing about this. Even the sport, like the team battles, which you'll see right now, are 5-on-5. But they do get big. They get big to 10v10, 16v16.
Well, yeah, I think you have you have a 15 right this weekend?
Yes.
Or that weekend?
So that weekend we're doing 5v5s. And I think we're going to do the women's 10v10s. So women's are doing their 10v10 championship too.
I got to meet one of these ladies.
So like the reason why though is like in next year we're actually bringing we're for the first time in the long history of the sport with like 25 years or something like that. I don't know how long. We're bringing the World Championships here again.
Okay.
So we're kind of getting people to understand it and like that and come to World Championships. At the World Championships, there's going to be 16 versus 16, 10 versus 10, and then there's going to be at the end there's this big match at the end where it's basically 100 versus 100.
It's awesome.
It's
like a
100
battle.
people in armor fighting another guy.
I'm just going to let you know, though, there's a guy here in Conroe who had built a catapult, but I can't pronounce what they're called. Turbucklet?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
But he built one.
Trebuchet,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
But so if you need one, I could reach out to him.
No,
and you want to put it on? You want to put it on? No, just display. You're not launching it. It's like, hey, we're trying to get into the medieval theme.
Yeah, we're trying to get into the medieval theme. Yeah, I might run it out. Like let him test it a couple times.
That'd be kind of fun.
For insurance purposes, we can't use it.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, he can shoot. He was doing pumpkins last weekend, I think it was. It was pretty cool. But I think that the way I kind of look at it, listening to you, is you almost want to advertise it like a boxing UFC fight, where you have a card.
Yeah,
but like these are the prelims, or this is to actually get onto the card.
Yeah, this is really what it is.
So that's kind of cool.
It is that, and there are other matches you'll see, like there are one-on-one like pro fights. You might even see like what they call pro fights or elite pro fights, where it is kind of like that. It's set up just like exactly like boxing. And some people may have heard about like Armored MMA. You've probably seen the clips, and people are like, "What is this stuff?" And it's basically our sport. It's just that it's a one-on-one format. It's the same thing. It's just a different category.
Well, they do more wrestling though.
Yeah, so it's full not, UFC rules. It's like full MMA.
Yeah,
rules.
like when I saw that, it wasn't because you got like for example, from what I understand, it's more weapon oriented.
Yes.
For points.
Yeah.
So if you lose your sword. That's not good.
That's not good.
So
for several reasons.
Yeah. So I think that's because the other one, the MMA one, it's like no, like usually if they lose that, they're just going to go hand in hand.
Yeah,
they're just going to do it.
They only get a certain amount of time without that, and we do have a pro fight for the World Championships too. But for the team battles, you don't lose your weapon. You lose your weapon, you're kind of defenseless for a little while. You got to run and get one. And for the singles matches, one-on-one matches, you lose your weapon, you lose points. So it's kind of
I think it's interesting. It's going to be fun to watch these fights. And one thing I want to ask is give us the day of, like, say you buy the weekend ticket. Mm-hmm. It is the 7th, it's Saturday. What time do gates open? What do families need to bring, like, just beside themselves? Can they bring water?
Yeah, they can bring some water. I think that's about it. About as much.
And then everything else is provided there. Food.
Yeah. We're gonna have food trucks. We're gonna have food trucks there. They're gonna be outside having fun. You're gonna be able to. There's a couple of vendors that'll be there selling some stuff. A couple of displays. But yeah, doors open at 11:30.
Oh wow!
The fight started about noon. You'll see some, like, if you walk in, kind of, you'll see.
You're gonna hear it.
I
feel like you're gonna hear everything.
You're gonna see some preliminary warm ups, things of some matches coming in, some singles matches, and then and we'll do an opening. We'll kind of introduce a lot of the teams that are there.
That's one thing that's cool about y'all's organization of the teams.
Yeah,
like the names and the crests and all that kind of stuff.
Like so for example, here in Conroe, the local team here is the Regulators. The Texas Regulators.
What's the Dallas one? What's
Dallas Warlords? That's my home club.
See, that's cool.
Unfortunately, because I'm the president, I'm an organizer.
What's your choice, dude?
I decided to do that.
You made the sacrifice.
I made that sacrifice. I really did. I did not know what I was getting into before I took this job. So my club team will be competing.
So this is where you get mysterious with it. Is like you become the knight that has no banner, right? And then you enter. No one knows your face. You can't show your face. And like, who's this bad A? And then
Well, the thing about it is, when you put the helmets on, you really can't tell who's in there. You really
well,
can't.
Actually, if you do me a favor, you have to your left, you actually have a helmet.
Yeah.
And this is your helmet.
Yeah, this
and
is
I
my
want people to I picked it up.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say at least 20 pounds.
Yeah,
And
it's around 16.
yeah, it is heavier than it looks. And it actually looks heavy. So it's just kind of funny. But that's on your head because you have to be able to take a sword. Or is it all swords, or do you have like
so there's different
axes?
There's
and stuff?
axes, there's pole axes, there's falchions, there's one-handed short-hand axes. There's a variety of weapons you can use.
Yeah, and they're all blunt instruments.
Yeah,
that's
nothing
kind of
sharp.
key.
Yeah, we check all that stuff. Yeah, you're not going to walk in there with a sword.
Yeah,
with a sharp sword.
And I think, and there's no stabbing. Which
stabbing.
is interesting.
Number one rule: no stabbing.
Yeah, and but you guys are still covered. Like you have chainmail.
Yeah.
You're going to be on Armando's show tomorrow for Texas Ticket.
Yep.
And I want to say you're going to bring the armor, like
Yeah.
the actual, like it's nuts. It's kind of, and to me, it's very intimidating because you're like, where do you even buy this? But I imagine there's Etsy shop or something.
Yeah, there's a couple of people on Etsy. It's weird, but
yeah.
Most of it's like from Europe, and you got to order it.
Well, I mean, this is serious stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta get the.
like this isn't like, oh, it's not for a costume. It's like, no, this is I gotta be able to withstand while being mobile.
Yeah.
Because
and the thing about it is the armor does its job, and then once you train for a while,
does it smell?
it does. Yeah.
Is that sweat?
Yeah, there's just your sweats in there. But
I don't know if I want to put that on.
You kind of every couple of years you swap out the inside stuff, and you kind of start over again. But after a while, after you train for a while, and what we learned is that from that medieval time, those ages, that the armor actually does balance very well on your body. It's made to balance on your body.
Yeah.
So eventually you know it's there, but it's not as bad as what most people think.
Well, it also depends on, like, because I remember in school we learned there's like for knights, for example, there's combat armor and then there's show armor.
Yeah.
So
This is definitely combat armor.
Yeah,
but
so
there
there's
is show armor.
there
It's
is
much easier to deal with. Yeah.
Yes, and there's a difference, and then the combat armor had more flexibility with your arms.
Yeah, more flexible.
And then things like that, and then there's no bow and arrows going on during this combat.
And on average tournament, we're sitting in our armor for at least 5, 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes.
I can't imagine.
It's super hot, and
do you have like a cool water straw thing?
Yeah, some people do that, or sometimes like mine actually opens up. I won't unstrap it, but it actually does open. Some people have the ones that they'll open it, or some guys will just rip it right off, or they'll take a little straw and
that's what
slip it in there.
I'm stuck in
Mine
this.
is very open, but some guys have like it's very loosely tiny holes. They'll open it up. But
yeah, I mean, because there's to me it's so strange because there's a line between a hobby and the next level of that. And I really props to you, dude. This is gonna be kind of cool. So to remind folks, I'm speaking to Dondre Cyrus right now. We're talking about the American Medieval Combat Federation, they're coming to Conroe. And they have tickets available right now. It's December 7th through the 8th, and it is live combat, medieval combat. So you're in your mind right now, you're thinking knights with armor swinging swords. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And it's competitive. So this isn't the WWE here, guys.
This is the full-on UFC NFL version of this.
And you're going to hear loud noises the whole time, and you hear cheering.
You're cheering, or hear some crying, or see some sparks, because it definitely happens every single time.
That's so cool.
It's metal on metal. It's somebody swings it.
And I know later, if you're pay attention to our social media, we're going to be doing something with these guys, maybe getting some tickets and stuff like that for you, your listeners. And let's go over real quick. $20 or $25 for the whole weekend.
Yep, whole weekend.
And then it's free for 12 kids 12 and under.
Yep.
And it's cheaper. There's a discount rate for kids 18 and but like in that little area.
Yeah, little area.
And then anything for veterans or anything like that?
So there is a veteran code that's on there.
There's always a veteran code.
There's always a veteran code.
Yeah, these
because actually, I think I want to say at least 10 to 15% of the active competitors in the United States are all veterans.
Yeah, they're a needy bunch.
We have a lot of guys.
Yeah.
One of the guys, we got a Veterans Affairs guy who'll be there, make sure they're checking in with people, and but yeah, it's gonna be a great event. And then also there's a VIP ticket if you want to. It's like $80. You get like that very front row, and then we'll let you come down and like talk to the fighters. And
that's cool. So if you want to meet these guys, I love it, dude.
Some of them will probably let you whack them, I'm sure.
And all the links for this is below. And so if you want to get your tickets, you want to go check it out. If you want to participate, this is the guy to talk to. He's the president. So if you're interested in learning more about putting armor on and swinging swords at people.
We're always recruiting. I
love it, man. Well, we're going to get back to the music here on Mornings with Lone Star. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I do want to remind folks to follow us on social media, Lone Star Community Radio. Also, if you want to be a guest, just reach out. Visit irlonestar.com. And this is Dick. I'm signing out.
but there are